went from being just a company you heard about to one you experienced every day?
Basically, MoniePoint is everywhere, and I think this does the beginning.
There's nothing like a decline. There's nothing like a reversal of transactions. Reconciliation made it easy.
But now, because of MoniePoint, they don't have access to financial services.
Just to be able to send money to any country within Africa.
This is the best banking experience so far in terms of transactions.
We're one of the most successful, pretty profitable fintechs on the continent.
You can receive payments from literally anywhere in the world.
MoniePoint is the best. Its network was fast, everything was
because they told me that it's very faster in transactions.
Okay. My name is Tosin Eniolorunda. I am the co-founder and CEO of MoniePoint.
Shy, restless, and a builder. These were the three words that Tosin Eniolorunda, Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of MoniePoint Incorporated, used to describe himself in an interview. These words capture the essence of a man whose relentless drive and insatiable curiosity have led him to create a solid banking solution. From its roots in Nigeria, MoniePoint is now expanding into other emerging markets, propelled by Tosin's vision to continually build and innovate. It's clear that his restlessness isn't just a personal trait, it's the force behind a growing financial empire that aims to redefine banking in Africa. But how was he able to do this? Being the first of three children, Tosin Eniolorunda was born in Lagos, Nigeria, but grew up in the city of Ibadan. Growing up in an average African home with his parents struggling to meet up with the payment of school fees sometimes, he didn't really experience the luxury of having his own toys to play with. And so most times, he would have to improvise by building his own toys to play with.
I used to build toys and, those car things that you just be pulling around and be running around the streets. But my mom did not allow me to run with all the kids on the street, so I built it in our compound. I used to run around.
Even back in secondary school, he was the one everyone turned to for fixing things. As a mechanical engineering student in Obafemi Awolowo University, his zeal to build and create did not die down as he went on to help students in their final years with projects that involved building things or creating some software and hardware solutions. After graduating from the university in 2009, Tosin joined Interswitch to embark on a career that would eventually lead him into the heart of Nigeria's financial technology sector. Interswitch is one of Africa's leading digital payment companies, and there he worked as a software engineer and a product manager. He was responsible for designing and building payment solutions for various industries. It was while he worked on various projects that sought to enhance digital payment systems that his entrepreneurial vision began to take shape. He joined Interswitch when the company was accelerating and becoming a fintech powerhouse. But this phase of his life lasted for a short span of just 5 years. This was because he planned to devote himself to 5 years of paid employment to at least learn about an industry and stand on the shoulder of giants. During his time at Interswitch, Tosin observed that while the digital payments environment was evolving, it was doing so at a pace and in a manner that left millions of Nigerians behind. In a country with over 200 million people, the vast majority still relied heavily on cash transactions. By 2014, only about 40% of Nigerians had access to formal financial services, and even fewer were using digital payment methods. He noticed the inefficiencies with money transfer, and he was led to build a virtual machine that cut down point-of-sale application by nearly 90%. But that wasn't enough for Tosin, because he saw that more could be done, and somehow, remaining at Interswitch limited him. Hence, he had to leave in November 2015 to co-found Team Apt with Felix Ike. Team Apt was founded with the aim of providing financial happiness by creating infrastructure and payment solutions for financial institutions and banks. However, despite the successes Team Apt recorded, Tosin wanted more than serving banks. He wanted to achieve his mission more directly by reaching the average Nigerians. Tosin realized that for the company to put a dent in the financial sector, they needed to focus on solving the most pressing issues faced by everyday Nigerians.
Business people that really needed financial services were. We thought it was more of the formal guys that are much more on social media. But it hit me at that moment. It became clear that our life's goal in MoniePoint is going to be helping these people that are the middle economy to actually help them with their financial solutions to reach their goal.
This included providing access to banking services for the unbanked, offering affordable transaction fees, and ensuring that the platform could be used even in the most remote areas of the country where internet connectivity was sparse. So, in 2019, they began to offer financial solutions to merchants through their flagship product called MoniePoint. The platform quickly gained traction, especially among small and medium-sized enterprises, which made up over 80% of Nigeria's businesses, but were often underserved by traditional banks. Within the first year of operation, MoniePoint processed transactions worth billions of naira, a testament to the demand for such a service. With time, MoniePoint has grown to become an all-in-one tool for businesses, offering a comprehensive solution that includes payments, business banking, credit, and business management. Tosin's vision was to build more than just a company. He wanted to create a movement that would fundamentally change the way Nigerians interacted with money. By focusing on reliability, ease of use, and widespread accessibility, MoniePoint rapidly grew, becoming a vital player in Nigeria's Fintech revolution. As of 2023, MoniePoint has expanded its services to cover over 200,000 agents across Nigeria, processing over $12 billion in transactions annually.
And we've done pretty well. We've been able to grow to a customer base of about 1 million plus active businesses, processing about $15 billion on a monthly basis.
Tosin's ability to identify a critical need in the market and his relentless pursuit of a solution transformed MoniePoint from a startup into one of the leading financial services providers in the country. Team Apt, now MoniePoint, has successfully launched two digital products, MoniePoint and Monify. MoniePoint being a mobile money agent network that offers financial services such as cash withdrawal and deposit, funds transfer, airtime purchase, bill payments, etc. through mobile apps and point-of-sale terminals. It is one of Nigeria's biggest non-bank mobile money operators. It claims to process about 400 billion naira per month and has a network of over 30,000 registered agents in all 36 states in the country. MoniePoint, in addition to being a tech-enabled all-in-one business solution, is also able to provide much-needed last-mile service delivery. Monify, on the other hand, is a payment gateway that allows businesses receive payments from customers, either on a one-time or recurring basis. More than 16,000 businesses use the Monify platform, with a transaction value of over 50 billion naira processed per month. In 2023, Team Apt rebranded to MoniePoint, taking the name of its most popular product. Now MoniePoint are the parent company of Team Apt Limited, a Central Bank of Nigeria licensed switch and processor, and MoniePoint Microfinance Bank, a Central Bank of Nigeria microfinance bank. It is easy for one to begin to assume that based on the highly impressive figures being mentioned, that MoniePoint has been without challenges. But the truth remains that any successful organization involves considerable challenges. So, in many ways, scaling in emerging markets is the real stress test for an entrepreneur's ability to overcome challenge, and Tosin's got a fair share of that. One significant challenge Tosin encountered was the difficulty of scaling a tech company in Nigeria, where the needed infrastructure is often lacking. As opposed to what is easily obtained in more developed markets, basic necessities such as stable internet connectivity and affordable data are not guaranteed, which heavily influence the design and development of MoniePoint's technology. For instance, the limited bandwidth and high cost of data meant that MoniePoint had to build a card delivery system from scratch, ensuring that it could function effectively even in regions with poor infrastructure. Apart from this, Tosin has often shared how daunting it was to navigate Nigeria's complex regulatory environment. Early in the journey, when MoniePoint was just an idea, Tosin and his team had to figure out how to comply with the numerous regulations set by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The first major hurdle was securing the necessary licenses. Tosin described it as a leap of faith. They were venturing into a heavily regulated space with no guarantees. The legal process was slow and expensive, but Tosin knew that without these licenses, MoniePoint would never get off the ground. In one interview, he recalled a particularly challenging period when the regulatory environment suddenly shifted. New policies were introduced that required MoniePoint to make significant changes to its operations. It felt like they were taking 2 steps back just after making some progress. But instead of seeing this as a setback, Tosin viewed it as an opportunity to refine MoniePoint's services, ensuring they were not just compliant, but also ahead of the curve. Another major hurdle that existed was funding. Unlike many startups that raise funds before launching their products, Team Apt operated for over 3 years without external funding. This was partly a strategic decision to avoid getting stuck in the limbo of product development while trying to raise funds. The other side to this was the fact that investors would not just invest in his startup without seeing tangible growth. The self-reliant approach meant that Tosin and his team had to be incredibly resourceful, creating value for their early partners and customers, while navigating the financial constraints of a bootstrapped operation. In some of Tosin's interviews, he revealed how at some point, while operating Team Apt, has had to borrow money from his wife to pay off salaries. But today, MoniePoint is not just a company, it's a movement. With operations in Nigeria, Kenya, and an ongoing expansion into other emerging markets and offices in the US and UK, the company is poised to revolutionize financial services across Africa and beyond. For Tosin, the journey is far from over. He remains as restless and curious as ever, always looking for the next challenge to tackle.
The early days were quite rough, very, very rough. I remember there was a month I could not meet salaries, and I had to borrow money from my wife, who was working on that other company, and it was literally a savings. But then again, we struggled, we persevered.
Tosin plans to expand the range of the company's operations to other countries in West and North Africa. This is all part of the process to fulfill his objective of improving financial inclusion in Africa. He expresses strong confidence in his team's competence and expertise to achieve this goal. As MoniePoint continues to grow, Tosin's vision of creating financial happiness for millions of people is becoming a reality. And while the road ahead may be long and filled with obstacles, one thing is certain: Tosin will continue to build, solve problems, and inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs. In the end, Tosin is more than just a founder. He is a builder, a man who from a young age was driven by the desire to create solutions for the problems he saw around him. MoniePoint is the manifestation of that drive, a testament to what can be achieved when passion meets perseverance. And as the company continues to expand, the world will no doubt hear more about the man who built a fintech empire.